Good morning. You know who it is, your favorite cousin, checking in, Young Jock in the Streets Morning Takeover, accompanied by my lovely homie, Miss Shyneka and Shouty. And on the phone with us today, well, I guess I should say on the Zoom, that's the new lingo now. It's so crazy how times have changed. We have SMS attorneys. Am I saying that right?
You got it.
All right. We have SMS attorneys on with us. And these are, let me say this, just looking at the whole rundown of who you guys are, what you have accomplished, and your rundown, man, y'all not no lightweights. You
Yeah,
guys
we
pretty big attorneys.
we try to do what we can do out here.
That's right. We have Justin Miller and Chris Stewart. Man, so glad to have you guys today.
Thank you for
Glad to
having
be
us.
here.
All right, so we definitely have plenty to talk about. You guys have been busy, okay? During the whole pandemic, right?
Yeah, we didn't really get the lockdown part. We were on planes, traveling around, fighting these cases.
Yeah. So let me when it comes to talking about fighting these cases, I've noticed that your motto or your tag is family, faith, justice. Can you explain to our viewers, explain that, and why is it so important? Why is this so important to the success of your company?
Yeah, man. The reason we created that was a lot of lawyers look at clients as just like another number, just kind of like a meal ticket or, kind of annoying. But we treat our clients like family. Like, we're not gonna take the case unless you're gonna be able to hit us up, call us, talk to our staff. Our staff will go see your kids. They take your kids to school before helping out a client. I mean, it's a family situation. Faith is, man, we deal with so heavy cases like George Floyd and all the other cases that if you don't have faith, man, you're gonna break, because we deal with threats, we deal with all kind of crazy stuff. And justice, man, we got to win. That's the whole thing with justice. We're winning your case. That's what matters.
All right, so I definitely want to speak to this because seldom times, we don't get the full scope of it being, we might just hear one lawyer's name, Chris Stewart, but there's actually a team working behind the lawyer to get justice served. And in that team, like, how does that work? Like, do you guys partner up with other lawyers that might be in the same state as a more well-known like lawyer? How does that work? Because you mentioned George Floyd, and yet one of the bigger names that has been said is like a Ben Crump, but there are people such as yourselves working as well. How does that work?
Yeah, that's our co-lead counsel for
Okay.
George Floyd. So he represents some of the family members. We represent the daughter, Breonna Floyd.
Okay.
And so you co-lead together. You know what I mean? So you're fighting the case together. You're doing interviews. It just is what it is. And it's not just me. My law partner is Justin and Madeline Simmons. And there is no way we would have been able to win some of the cases that we've won without, the three of us and our whole team at the firm.
Okay.
Okay, now I got a question now. Considering you guys have been on the front line of a lot of these cases, man, what is the mindset going into it? Because each case is different. Every person is different. We definitely understand that. But it's like, how do you prepare to go into these? I don't want to say just the courtrooms, because it's like the battlefield, because you're out here protesting with people. You're having to do, it's the ugly side of the job, it's the political side of the job, and then it's the side that the world doesn't always see. How do you prepare for these instances? I guess I should say.
I think for both of us, this is something that we feel like is our job, our duty to do. We could be George Floyd, we could be Alton Sterling, we could be Walter Scott, we could be any of these people, we could be Rashard Brooks. So for us, we feel like this is our duty, and we feel like we're giving back to the community. This is our way to give back. I mean, you can't have a better career where you can help the community and make a living at the same time. So it's a beautiful thing. So I think for us, we just approach it like it is something that we were called to do. When you're tired, sometimes, I'll have to call Chris, or he'll hit me and he'll say, hey man, I don't feel it this morning, and I have to give him a kick, in the back, and he has to give me a kick in the back, and then we get moving. So it's something that you just kind of have to, you have to love, and you have to really feel it in your heart. And I think both of us do.
So recently, Attorney Ben Crump and Tamika Mallory have been in the news and under fire from Tamir Rice's mother and another mother, I forget her name, with them being called ambulance chasers and them really not being for the cause. How do you guys handle the criticism that comes along with your job, especially from our community?
I mean, I know both of them. We both know both of them personally. Tamika is one of the most phenomenal human beings that I've ever met. She's been with us in multiple cities. She even flew down to Atlanta for the Rashard Brooks March. Same thing with Ben. I mean, Ben's heart is in the right place, and you're going to face that kind of criticism because when you take these cases, they're very media driven. So we have to do TV a lot. And what people don't realize, if we don't do media and talk about the case, they're not going to arrest anybody. They're not going to do anything. And so you have to be out there. And someone may say, oh, he's doing it for attention. I don't want that attention. Like, I don't like doing civil rights. I've said that a million times. I do it because I love my people. I do not want to be doing this. It comes with too much drama, too many other situations. But if someone's not doing it, then we're in trouble. So, you just got to shrug the criticism off and understand that who you are and why you're doing it. And, people are going to say what they're going to say, and you just got to be understanding and keep on pushing.
So, Chris,
and in any field, I was just going to say, in any field, you're going to have people who dislike what you do. That's in anything you do, especially if you're good at it. And so you just have to take the good with the bad. And as far as the mother is concerned, these people are grieving. These are their family members who were killed. So we understand that, they feel a way sometimes about different things that we have to do. We get it, and we try to just kind of, keep it in mind as we move forward.
Let me ask you too, real quick, Ms. Shyneka.
Okay.
This past what was this? The 1 year anniversary death for Breonna Taylor, right? I was in Louisville, Kentucky, with her family, with Attorney Ben Crump, Tamika Mallory, Until Freedom, and we had just heard the news that the Floyd family had just been awarded $27 million, right? Here standing next to Breonna Taylor's family, who's just been awarded $12 million, right? Now, that being one of the biggest, if not the biggest, civil settlements ever, am I correct?
Yeah,
yes.
For civil rights.
All right, civil rights. With that happening, I'm just trying to figure out what message does that send to the people, because I hear so many mixed things. I hear some politicians say, well, listen, once they pay out that type of money, you could kiss a conviction goodbye. Ain't gonna be no conviction. That's what they gave the money for. Is this an attempt to pacify these families and these groups of people who protest on their behalf?
No, they're so distinct. The civil case is totally different than the criminal case. The criminal case is being run by the Attorney General. We fought the civil case in a whole different court, different rules, everything. And, the number's so high because we don't play around. When we got a civil case, I'm about to hit you up. And so what we tried to make a statement about is, when we settled Walter Scott, you remember that case in South Carolina where he was running from the cops, got shot in the back?
Yeah.
We settled that for $6.5 million. And that was the highest ever in history for South Carolina. And that doesn't make any sense when the value that they assign to Black people when they get killed should be just as high when when a white person is killed.
Right.
A white woman had been killed, she got 20 million. So no, we were making a statement that Black lives are worth just as much when they're taken by law enforcement. and it'll set a precedent for future victims. If that happens, that cities got to start paying attention because they're writing big checks. So you need to train your officers.
So,
And Jock, money talks. You know what I mean? That's when people start changing things. When the money starts getting funny, they start changing things. And so we want change. We want this to stop. And so when that cost gets prohibitive to those people, they're going to make those officers do something different every single time. And they're going to be on them about doing something different every time. So the money has to come, and then the convictions come, and then that's how we see change in what we're dealing with.
Now speaking of change, and this is just kind of to go with the whole narrative of these civil lawsuits, these civil rights payouts or whatnot. This is taxpayer money, right? Pretty much.
Some of the time. Sometimes it's insurance. Sometimes it's it's whatever's in the fund.
But when will the day come that the police will be held accountable for these payouts? So it's just not we got insurance, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I think if you hold them more accountable for these payouts, then I think that's when the chief of police and they start cracking down on the actual officers, because we're held liable and accountable for this, opposed to just having this insurance fund to back us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the catch-22, because right now, I mean, we're paying for the police right now with our taxpayer money. You know, those big $50 million budgets you'll see, or the $100 million budgets for the police, that's from your taxpayer money. Right. So we're already funding them. And so what happens when there's a civil settlement, they have to take money from places. So they are technically paying for it. They're taking it out the police budget. They're taking out of this and out of that. And mayors don't like that. City councils don't like that. And what they're going to start doing is implementing some of these policies like, look, no more chokeholds, no more whatever, because we are not going to keep writing these checks. So we're funding the police either way it goes, whether it's a settlement or $100 million budget and 10 million is for militarized, machinery. But nobody really says anything about it.
So when they're saying defund the police, that's what they mean, taking resources out of that the police have access to and creating programs that will, I guess, de-escalate a lot of things that are going on with policing.
Yeah, it basically means take the money from where it's being spent and allocate it in a different way so that it helps the community instead of just continues to do the same thing that it's doing. So, that slogan, I get it, and I'm behind it. I am behind my people who say it. I know I kind of wish you could explain it every single time you say it. You know what I mean? And just explain what it is, because some people just don't get it. They've never heard an explanation for it. But yeah, that's what it means. It means to reallocate that money to where it will go to really help the community, so that these things don't happen anymore.
Yeah, some people think it means get rid of police. That's not going to happen. I mean, they're not getting rid of police. We need police. Somebody breaking your house at 3 a.m., you're calling 911. You can't call your boys. They don't get there in time. Now, I'm going to shoot, but, the cops are going to come. And so, you can't get rid of police, but you can reallocate situations where they're not responding to a domestic abuse situation, where it's a mental health, officer that goes. Or we have so many people that die because of a mental illness. You need a specialized psychiatrist or specialist to actually try and talk that person down, right, instead of an armed officer. And a lot of these would be avoided.
So that makes a lot of sense.
A whole lot of sense. Because it's so funny. I think this might be one of the first times that someone has actually just broken that down. Because it's so funny when you hear conversations and people are like, oh, they trying to, hey, how we gonna live without the police? And it's like, I don't think they're saying they're gonna take the money away from the police, like where there's no police. I just think it's the way you just explained it was how I thought it would be, kind of like whatnot. But let me ask you a question, because we're having a lot of conversation. We're talking a lot, you guys, and you are prominent attorneys. When should someone pick up the phone to call you guys? Is it the minute something happens? Is it, do I call the police and make sure I got a police report? Do I make sure I call my insurance company if anything happens? Just in the regards of contacting attorneys like yourself.
When it's a like a car wreck or a truck wreck, we suggest people call us immediately as soon as you can, because there's a lot of evidence at the scene that we have to make sure we collect and that we get, and we can make sure that nothing slips by you if we get there first, or we send our people out first. So in a car wreck or a truck wreck, immediately. If it's something where it's a civil rights case, we say, you know, as soon as you can get out of jail and get a phone, you give us a call, you know, and that's when you should call us. But the sooner the better, because the quicker we can get to work, the better the case will be.
You got any more questions, Ms. Shyneka?
I
I got more questions, but if my questions are gonna be all off the subject, and I'm because I got some phone calls for y'all later, man. I just, you know, it's so funny because with us getting on the actual this call, you know, you heard Miss Shyneka make a joke and say, you know, Jock think he an attorney. He want to be an attorney, and it's kind of funny because when I had this opportunity, like I was telling you in Kentucky with being Crump. He was kept calling me Attorney Jock, Attorney Jock, Attorney Jock. And, you know, I was thinking about being an attorney until I saw my sister go through everything she went through to become an attorney. And I was like, nah, I'm a rap.
Hey, I'm telling you, man, here's about a real thing though. It is never too late. I mean, I went to Howard for law school. There were people that had come back in their like early 50s to do law school. And now they are super successful. Because it's only 3 years and part-time is just an extra year. And so, you know, especially in Georgia State has one of the best part-time law schools in the country. And so it's never really too late. I know people that work full-time and go to law school at night at Georgia State. And so, you know, it just is what it is. So anybody out there listening, it's never too late.
How big would that be if I went to school and became an attorney right now? That would
Right.
be
You already got a job at the firm. Come on.
We call it Stewart, Miller, Simmons, and Jock.
hey, Jock, if Kim K can make a sex tape and then try to be a lawyer, you definitely can do it.
Wow, you just went there all the way there.
I do want to know from you guys in the Rayshard Brooks situation. Of course, we seen Lil Baby kind of give a performance and he torched the Wendy's. All right. I don't think that it's been a year later, but what's going on with that case?
We probably know as much as you because our district attorney didn't want to prosecute it. She sent it to the AG, the attorney general sent it back to her. And now it's going back and forth. And I think the judge is going to decide if the district attorney has to prosecute it or not. So we are clueless about what's going to happen with that case and with the Tanaya Pilgrim and Messiah Young case, the two college students who were ripped out of their car and tasered. Both of those cases are in limbo because the district attorney and the attorney general haven't decided who's going to prosecute the case. Right,
but they let the officers back to work that tased them, right? The college students.
Yeah, they're still arrested, you know, and there's still a case against them. It's just the DA or the attorney general have to decide who's going to do the case. So the family is in limbo, the community's in limbo, and we just don't know.
Oh, wow.
Man, you guys have a tough job. I definitely want to take the time to say thank you, man, for just stopping what you're doing with your busy schedules to speak with us. Again, man, I salute y'all in every step of the way. I mean, I'm looking at some of the names attached to y'all and the cases, and I mean, I'm gonna be able to tell my kids about this. You know what I'm saying? I'll be sitting back telling even though some of my kids are of age to know what's going on now, but for the ones that don't, you know what I'm saying, y'all will be in the history books, I feel like, or my own history books to my kids, because, you know, things look different now. Just think about when our civil rights activists were your ages or younger. The way they looked, they looked like it looked old school. Right now, y'all look like you be popping, and this was what's going on. But y'all gonna be the old school historical cats that we talking about with marching and saying let freedom ring. So man, I definitely appreciate you guys a whole lot, man.
Hey, we just look, I'm 89. You know, it's just that black don't crack. So
that's just him. I'm 22. I'm be 22 forever.
Y'all are
Yeah,
hilarious.
man. Anytime y'all need us, man, just hit us up. It's a 404 law firm, and we'll be back anytime. We support Streetz, and
And we tell
it is
people
what
all
it
the
is.
time. We tell people all the time, even if you don't know if we could help you with your case, just give us a call. If we can't, we'll point you in the right direction. Make sure you get somebody who can help you if we don't handle that type of case.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you just tuned in, we are on live with SMS attorneys, man. Again, thank you for your time, man. We really appreciate it. And man, y'all keep going ahead and knock those cases, man.
Appreciate it, man. And this dang puppy's going nuts, so
Hey,
I gotta do.
Yo in the background and
Hey, I
everything.
gotta go feed my dog Jock too. I'll talk to y'all later.